What's up, guys? This is the Brooklyn Icebreaker New York City Cup, the first race in the New York City Cup. CAT-5. It is my first ever race. Um, I'm 17 years old. My name is Emmanuel. It's my first ever video. And I'm gonna be going over my race today, the CAT-5 race. It was really fast. I placed fifth. I think I could have gone in the podium, but yeah, let's start it. Just fast forward a second.
3, 2, 1, go!
So I started kind of in the mid-back of the pack here, and right away you can see there's people hammering right on the front. I got pretty nervous at this point. You know, my legs were cold. You can see me jumping up 800 watts there, 700, 800 to close down these gaps within like 30 seconds of the race starting. This was kind of a trend for the first like 2 minutes. Already like super strung out, super single file. I really had no idea what to expect going into this. I thought maybe we would ease into it a little bit. I was completely wrong. You know, there was a couple really strong guys in the field who just kept the pace pretty high the whole race. You see already, again, more gaps. There was a really big fitness difference between like the fittest and the least fit people in the field. So here, you know, I realized these guys aren't gonna be able to bridge up. So I decided to go solo because I know if I lose this like front group that eventually became like a front group of like 10, then I wouldn't be able to get there solo and my race would be done like 2 minutes in. But yeah, you can see me already, my heart rate 181. My heart rate was super high this entire race. I think probably a little bit because of, you know, first race nerves. My average heart rate was 181. My max was 200, which is, you know, really high for me normally. But at this point, I was really scared. My legs were hurting. It was pretty bad. This front group was really pushing it, and for a second there, I thought I wasn't going to be able to make it. Like I said before, my legs were cold. We'd been standing around there for like 15 minutes before the race started. It was 35 degrees out. But by the time we got into this downhill, they slowed up a bit, and I realized they wouldn't, you know, keep this pace super high the entire race. But it was definitely I don't know, a welcome to racing moment in the first 30 seconds. You know, having to do this, probably the hardest effort of the whole race for me was that early break that these three guys at the front forced. I'll talk more about them later. There was these three or four guys that were really strong, and they created this kind of group that you see now. There's probably about 10 of us total, a couple behind me, and this group it stayed away from the whole field. The rest of the field was really broken up behind us. It was like a 35-40 man field total, and really just this first attack got it down to like 10 or 15, and it stayed that way till pretty much the last lap, the last hill. It stayed this like first 10 or 15 group. So I was really glad I made this group, because I definitely wouldn't have been able to catch them later on in the race. So right about now I'm settling in a little bit. They eased up a bit, the guys in the front. Heart rate came down, never mind, a tiny bit, basically the same. Power is coming down a lot, and here I was definitely feeling a lot more secure now. Yeah, a lot better. Yeah, I was fighting with this guy for the wheel a little bit here on the left. I think I let him have it, and I just moved up on the right. Also, if you guys have any tips, any comments or anything, please put them in the comments. You know, I'm just trying to learn as much as possible. It's my first race, so yeah, if you guys have any comments, any suggestions about my racing, please let me know in the comments. Okay, I skipped ahead to this moment here. Still the first lap, up the first hill. We have this guy in the green attacking up the hill. He gets brought back pretty quickly by the group, but it was just kind of a trend I noticed, and probably I don't know, a trend in Prospect Park races in general, was someone attacking up the start of the hill and then getting brought back pretty quickly over and over. I think it happened basically every lap. Yeah, you can see me coming up in power a lot. Yeah, but now we slowed down actually. I think we, no, we didn't catch the guy yet, but by the end of the hill, we'll catch him for sure. Also, yeah, I wanted to talk about a couple of the big, um, like influential racers really in this race. Um, Kind of the two or three guys up front. There was a couple like there was a lot of talk about some of the guys in the race, either like professional or really high level rowers. There was one like pro or really elite amateur racer from the Dominican Republic. There was one guy who, if you can guess, ended up winning with a 1700-watt sprint. That was one of these super high level rowers. Um, so yeah, it was a really really fast CAT-5 race from what I heard. Yeah, you see we brought back the guy in the neon green jacket there. But yeah, super fast CAT-5 race compared to what other people have told me. Um, yeah, super fast race. We averaged a faster average speed than the CAT-3 4s, and then like within 1 mile per hour of the here. You see the guy attacking right up the hill here. That was the guy with the 1700-watt sprint. You can see him getting really really big separation down into this hill, down into the downhill after the main feature, the hill on Prospect Park, and that's actually how he won the race in the end, by attacking right into that downhill. And no one can really follow him with his just like massive acceleration. But yeah, you see again getting really really strung out. This guy here in the tan jacket right in front of me, I think it's at this moment, he really brought me to the front of this group right here when it was getting really really strung out. Let's see if we can just wait a second. Yeah, he surges forward. I stay on this wheel, and he takes this really, I'm doing like 700 watts in the wheel, you can see him. Yeah, and he just hammers through the start finish, just pulling me. He keeps going past this guy. I feel like I did a good job in this race of sticking to the wheels like this, not really bringing back too many of these attacks on my own, but by like being in a correct position and being on the right wheels to get someone else to pull me to them, like here. And yeah, so I don't have to do as much effort. I'm doing way less effort than this guy in front of me, and in the end getting brought all the way back to the front. Yeah, that was a massive pull. Really really good from this guy in the tan. I really really appreciated that. So yeah, brings us all back together. We finally get back to the 1700-watt rower. So here I just wanted to point out something that I thought I did well. I think I mentioned it earlier, but just the whole race, you see I was already in good position, like third or fourth wheel, and then as a little surge or attack comes in, just surfing wheels and staying in like good position. I tried to hold like third, fourth, or fifth wheel for the entirety of the race, and I did that pretty much up until the sprint, where I ended up in fifth. But yeah, just surfing the wheels, staying in the front of the group without being the first wheel and taking all the wind. Yeah, that's just something I thought I did well throughout the race. Just conserving energy, because it was, like I said, a really fast race. It was definitely really physically. You see my heart rate still 190, doing like 300 watts in the wheel right there, but it's way harder for the guys in the front, so it's all right. Okay, I wanted to point out this moment too. This guy 502 here, after the guy in the green pulls off, just another one like really really strong, just goes and takes this monster pull. Really, just there was always guys in the front of this race keeping the pace pretty high. I mean, all the moments that I'm skipping between now are just kind of single file like this, keeping the pace high. You see I'm doing like 400 watts second wheel right now, and at this point, I was just waiting for this guy to pull off. I thought he was done, gonna flick me forward, and I wasn't really, 190 BPM, doing well over threshold in his wheel. I didn't really want to take a big pull, but he just keeps going, keeps setting the pace high. So I was happy to stay in his wheel as long as he kept pulling, and I mean he did. There was a lot of really strong guys in this field. Um, yeah, if I don't know if this is like standard in a Cat 5 race, that there's kind of a bunch of guys that are either super physically fit from other things, like in this race rowing, or if there's a lot of like internet. There was an super. Some people said pro. I heard pro, semi-pro, really high elite amateur. Some guy from the Dominican Republic in this race who didn't have his USA cycling um, membership or license. They have to restart. But yeah, here again is just another moment where I was in good position. Then the guy at the front slowed down, and I just kind of served wheels to stay in good position down the downhill. Just something I thought I did good all race. But yeah, just back to that, the levels of fitness in this Cat 5 race. I don't know if anyone has more experience Cat 5 racing than me. Wants to leave in the comments. If this is kind of standard for there to be a couple guys who don't really belong in the field, or I don't know, international guys, or yeah, pro rowers, or 1700-watt sprinters that just kind of really dominate or push the pace. Because it was a 30, 35, 40 person field, but after a minute, after they started hammering in the first minute, and turned into more like a 15 person field, 15 person race. Also, I know I'm jumping around a lot. If anyone in the race or anyone just wants the full raw uncut footage, you can just leave it in the comments or shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm 9westwatts, and I'll send it over to you for sure. Okay, so here's another moment. We have another rower attacking super hard off the front. And I wasn't really in a position where I could respond directly. There was no point in me, surging forward around this blue guy or guy in the black jersey in front of me. It was too big of a gap, so I kind of just had to have trust that they'll bring it back. These two guys were pretty strong and on the front of the race the whole time. So I had trust in them to bring it back. Even though the guy attacked with a lot of speed and it looked pretty dangerous, these guys closed it down pretty quickly, pretty good. And again, yeah, just I feel like I did a good job of staying in the wheels, and that blue guy right in front of me looked like he was kind of hurting pulling that back. And while it definitely wasn't easy for me, it was a lot easier for me than for him. Let's see again. Yeah, we start getting swarmed here. And I just kind of hop on this guy. This guy right in front was the supposed high-level elite amateur pro guy from the Dominican Republic. I just kind of surf on his wheel as these guys attack up the hill. And again, just staying in good position, top 5 wheels, doing a lot of power and definitely hurting, but not as much as, the guy in the front. So yeah, like I said before, just something I thought I did well. Surfing the wheels, staying in good position, and not really letting like the swarm overtake me and lose too many positions. And yeah, again, just here staying on the wheel, the little gap opens up, the Dominican racer closes it, and I just stay on the wheel. I think I'm 5th right now. Yep. And yeah, just brings it back together, and I don't have to do too much energy. Definitely not as much as the people in front of me. Okay, so this guy here, another one of the rowers. These are like the 3 rowers right here. The guy who just attacked really hard off the front, the guy right in front of me, and then the guy you could have kind of seen on my right. They were the guys kind of pushing the pace the whole time. As you see, this guy right here attacking really hard. I think I surged up to 900 watts there, close to my max for this race. But again, just I think staying on the good wheels, and all these attacks were pretty manageable for me. The only one that really hurt was the first one, where I had to go solo for a good while, close the gaps that they created by just going super hard off the start. But all their other attacks, while they were definitely powerful and dangerous, I feel like I was able to close them pretty well, and without really killing myself, and just staying in position by riding the wheels for the majority of the race. But yeah, just like right here, this is what the majority of the race looked like. Just one guy on the front, keeping it fast. You know, it's a flat right now, 23 miles per hour. Like going between 250, let's see. Yeah, 250 watt, not too much right now, but just one guy in the front. Yeah, here we go, 300, keeping it fast. Not really letting anyone come around. And yeah, this is how it was for the majority of the race. Just people really keeping the pace fast and pushing it. Okay, here was a pretty important moment in the race, I think. We have one of the rowers in front attacking really, really hard. And instead of really bringing him back super quickly, we kind of let him dangle off the front for like a lap and a half. Yeah, like all of lap 4 and half of lap 5 before we brought him back. Just kind of letting him dangle a little bit in front. We were talking in the peloton, probably in like 20-30 seconds here, talking about just leaving him off the front. We were saying we didn't really think he was gonna get away by himself, or he could stay away. And I think in the end that cost him his race. You know, he spent a lot of the time out front while we were basically doing the same speed behind him, in control, just maintaining the gap, not letting it get too big. Kind of like this distance right here. This point is when we all kind of agree, like, we'll just kind of let him dangle. I was kind of, I don't know, surprised that there was this much race strategy in CAT-5. Again, I didn't really know what to expect, but I had heard that there wasn't too much, or wasn't as much race strategy. So I don't know, I was kind of almost proud of the peloton, or proud of ourselves, that we kind of talked and decided that we'll let this guy dangle, let him waste out his energy in the front, and we can pretty much easily bring him back. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear us talking now, just talking about, we don't think he's going to be able to stay away, just maintain the gap, not let him get too far, but then don't bring him back too close to the point where he knows we're going to bring him back, trying to give him like a false sense of hope or confidence that he can get away. And yeah, in the end, I think that cost him his race. I don't know where he placed. It was behind me, I'm pretty sure. So worse than 5th. But yeah, it was just a good job from the peloton coming together and discussing to kind of let him dangle out front and waste his energy. And yeah, in the end, that led to him not doing as well as he might have hoped. So here, this is right when we were about to bring back the guy who was off the front for about a lap and a half. You see this high-level Dominican elite amateur rider pulls off and kind of flicks me through, and I didn't really want to do this last hard effort to bring the guy back, so I just kind of rode like 200 watts. I knew one of these guys would come around behind me, yeah, and then I just surge up and hop on his wheel. I don't know if this was actually the right move. Let me know what you guys think. There I surged up to above 900 watts, which was, a lot. Would it have been better if I just slowly closed him down at 300 or 400 watts? Or did what I did, just letting someone else come around and then surging really hard? I've heard that being smooth is the most efficient way and keeping constant power. So maybe actually it would have been a better move for me there to just slowly, not slowly, it wasn't a very big gap, but instead of letting someone come around me and then surging, to just bring him back steadily myself, even if it meant taking wind for a little bit longer. I don't really know though, so any more experienced racers or anyone who thinks they know the answer to that, definitely let me know what you think there. Okay, this moment was really interesting. So I was talking to this guy right here, and then I forget what we were saying, and then all of the corner, out of the sudden, out of the corner of my eye, this guy launches forward. I have to surge up to 900 watts, and then he starts going left and right, swaying back and forth across the field. I don't know if this is some like breakaway strategy or racing strategy. I don't wanna, I don't know, bash him for this. I'm not the most experienced racer, probably as little experienced racer as you can get. This is my first race, but this guy surges, big sprint forward, goes left, right, then he slows down, and now again he's gonna surge forward and do the same pattern of right to left, swaying across. I was pretty um angry during the race. I think I yelled at him or just yelled like, "What is this guy doing?" It was pretty wet, rainy, and it started coming down, and he was just swerving back and forth across. It was a little, I don't know. I thought it was pretty dangerous, but yeah, you see, here he goes again to the right. If he goes back to the left, or yeah, back across to the left, and yeah, it was just kind of back and forth after he. It was really just surprising to me. I was talking to this guy. I forget what, but I just see out of the corner of my eye, he sprints forward, and then all of a sudden, left, right, and here he goes again. Right. Let's see if he goes back to the left. Or no, I think that might have been the last one. But yeah, if anyone knows if I'm just like completely missing something, or this is some like elaborate race strategy, or I don't think it is. I have no idea. If anyone knows what the goal of this was or has any idea, definitely please leave it in the comments, because I was really confused about this during the race and after the race, and watching back the footage too. I was just like, I really did not know what this guy was doing. Okay, so right here, this was up the last hill. You see me check my shoulder because we're slowing down, and this guy hits it up the hill. I don't know if you can hear me say, I say up to this guy to close it down. I wasn't quick enough to get right on his wheel. I could have done that better. I still have to surge up to 900 watts. I don't know if I can match this. This is the guy with the, you know, infamous 1700 watt sprint that was being talked about the entirety of the race, before the race, after the race, during the race. Um, so I couldn't really match his snap right there, but I think I did a good job there checking my shoulder, as we were slowing down a little bit, knowing is the last hill. It's the last lap. The race is about to be over. Knowing attack's probably going to come. And yeah, this guy hits it super hard up the hill. This guy who gave me the monster pull earlier in the race. And now I am sitting on this guy's wheel, hurting a lot, 200 beats per minute. And remember, 582 is the one with the massive, this infamous 1700 watt sprint. And we will see that just in a second. Now that I watched this, full race back, he did this almost every lap, but he really loved attacking into this downhill right after the hill. So we see, I'm hurting at this point. I'm hurting, and I know I'm waiting for this guy to attack. He gets ready, and bang, he surges, just completely gapping us, just unleashing his watts on us pretty much. And at this point, I knew, first place was done. He got the W. This guy comes around. There's a little bit of contact here. All good, though, I think. Feel like I did good staying on this guy's wheel now. And right now, I feel like I'm in really good position for a podium. I have this guy kind of almost leading me out. He can't slow down, or I'm just going to shoot off behind him. So he's keeping it really fast. And then I come out of his wheel here, and I think this is when I should have sprinted. Gone early, gone now. Because by the time I surge up, the Dominican guy comes over to the left. I have no space on the left, and by now is when I shoot up to my 900 watts, but we're already at a speed where I can barely come around. And in the end, I end up rolling in for 5th. So I wasn't really, just talk about the sprint for a second. I wasn't really happy with it. We can watch it back again. Also, if anyone has any tips or advice, if I'm missing anything, which I probably am, please let me know. But I just want to kind of go over the sprint, like bit by bit, and just talk about like what I was thinking through each part. So here I feel like I'm in a really good position, coming in the wheel. This guy's basically leading me out. First place is done, but here I come out the wheel. I don't know why. Maybe he was pulling off to the right a little bit. It's too early for me to go to sprint. We're way too far out. I feel like I should have stayed in his wheel and then right about now gone because I feel we're at a speed 30 miles per hour. Do we get any faster? Yeah, a little bit, but by this point, I don't really have any space on the left to go. Let's keep playing a little bit forward. This guy, you see this guy on the right, this guy who took second in the end, I feel like he timed his sprint well, better than mine. That's when I would have wanted to go. Right about now, he goes, gets around these two guys, and then I start to go, but by that point, it's too late, and I roll in for fifth. So yeah, I feel like I wasn't able to reach my max power for sure, which is the most I've hit. Was 1200 watts in a sprint 2 days before. Definitely, I think because of the couple surges I did, maybe like that one surge into the downhill, going up to 900, 1000 watts, took a little bit of the snap out of my legs. But I think the main thing for me would be going a little bit earlier when I had that opening in the left on the sprint. But I'm not entirely sure. If anyone, if anyone has any opinions or comments, definitely leave them down below. But yeah, that was the end of the race. I was pretty happy with fifth for this, very strong CAT-5 field in my first ever race. So yeah, I'll be doing the Prospect Park race in 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure will be my next race, and then the CRCA starts up the week after that, which I'm gonna be really excited for. And yeah, so there'll definitely be more videos like this coming in the future. You can also follow me on 9 West Watts on Instagram to see more of my training, daily training, videos like that. And yeah, if you like this video, like, subscribe, definitely leave a comment if you have anything to say about the race or want the full race footage. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.